Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Tony here. It's New Year's Day 2025, so Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a safe New Year's Eve. Hope everyone's doing well. I want to thank everyone for stopping by and supporting our channel, Tony's LPs Are Us. We're in Studio E where we have the Elvis fluorescent light is lit, so we are rolling again for 2025. And that's what this kind of video concept is. I picked 5 records with 5 artists that I have 5 different pressings of. So it's 5 by 5, 25. I hope that makes sense. I don't know, but it took me a while to actually whittle some of these down to 5 because, like Revolver, which is one of them, gave it away, sorry. I have a lot of pressings of Revolver. Probably one of my favorite Beatle records, and if not my favorite, I have the most pressings of that. Different pressings, imports, etc. So what I'm going to start off is I'm going to go through these, and then I'll give you my opinion on what the best sounding pressing is of these. And some of them are close, which is what a reissue should be to the original. Sometimes they do a much better job. A lot of times it's so close, and a lot of times it depends on your equipment. And this is just my opinion. You may think differently, and that's fine. And like I've said in other videos, a lot depends on your system, on your rig, what you're accustomed to, etc., etc. So it's just a fun little video. I hope you enjoy it. So we're going to start off with the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones got a lot of respect this year. I actually got to see them at Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands, as they call it. So the Stones were prominent, and then the Beatles became big again. Santana became big again. Michael Jackson became big again, but Traffic didn't become big again. So those are my 5 artists or bands that I'm going to show here. So it's 5 by 5, 25. We're in the year 25, and that's an original Zager and Evans on RCA up there on the shelf, the display shelf. So let's start off with with this album, Some Girls. And you can see that has a hype sticker. Some of these are sealed, some of these are opened. That's the hype sticker with the blue. They have multiple colors. I believe they had 4 sets. I took 5 different pressings to show you here. This one I took because it has the hype sticker, jackets, pressings, and this is the famous cover that was pulled because the Rolling Stones did not get permission from the ladies that were present on this record, like Farrah Fawcett, Lucille Ball, Raquel Welch. You can see them here. So that's the green. There's the blue, and you can see that's another band copy. And this is a fun copy. This has a hype sticker on it from 2 guys, but this is not. This is the copy that replaced the band copies. You can see the females that were pulled are not in here. This is just a generic inner sleeve that has the Stones and other graphs and information you can see there. So that's the difference right there. So that's a different copy from this copy. Different jacket pressings inside are probably the same. This is sealed. And then we have this one, which is same thing, but this is an import. This is red vinyl, and this is from what area of the world? I believe this is French, German. French pressing. That's the inner that you see here. That was in the domestic. That's the same one. And what it says is, pardon our appearance under construction. So that's what it, there, and that's actually an extra insert. That's what the insert looks like here. But here again, I'll show the beautiful red pressing, and this sounds really cool. This sounds really nice. Which one sounds best? I would say my domestic band copy sounds good, but they're all very similar. I wouldn't think the red vinyl would sound better, but it didn't sound worse. Like I said, some of them are not even open. And here's one that's interesting because has this inner in it with the lyrics, and it has a black and white under construction. Sometimes I don't think I hold these up long enough, so I apologize. I'm going to try to hold them up so you could actually freeze it if you like. So that's a black and white inner. And the cool thing about this copy is this record is only VG. It has some gashes on it. The rest of them are near mint or mint. But this is interesting because it doesn't have the die cut. It just has the stones and just the people that were in these ads. These were brassiere ads. It was a black-owned company that actually owned this wig and brassiere company, I believe, and negligee and underwear. So you can see that that's just a regular copy, and on the back is very similar to what we had before. So that's it, 5 by 5 of Some Girls, all different pressings or different jackets for your entertainment value. So I hope you like these. You know, it's just a fun segment, something to do for 25. And before I forget, thanks again for all the support. I constantly say that because some people should know that I appreciate that. And sometimes you actually go into a video while it's streaming or running, and you may not get that, but I really appreciate it. Next, we're going to go to John Barleycorn Must Die, which is a great Traffic record. And I just read something on the internet the other day that Traffic is one of the best unknown bands, best unknown rock bands or little known rock bands, which I think that's true to some extent, but it's one of my favorite bands because I grew up with Traffic in the late 60s and 70s. So I've seen Traffic with Winwood, and the only person who was missing was Mason, but it was basically the entire group. Then I saw Mason separately a few times. He actually signed some records for me. But I read that Little Feat was in there. You know, bands like that aren't mainstream, but if you're in the know, if you're a record guy or an audio guy or a CD person, you know these bands, especially if you're from my era. So I pulled 5 different pressings of John Barleycorn, which is a great record. If you don't know it, listen to it on YouTube, stream that sucker. And they're very inexpensive. I've seen just last year, Walmart had reissues of John Barleycorn Must Die for about $7. And if you buy a couple of them, that's free shipping. So you couldn't beat that. So I don't know why Traffic doesn't get the respect that it doesn't. One of them that I'm going to pull is from this box set, which has their studio records here, if you could see that. 67 to 74. And what's cool about this box set, I believe it's now out of print, these records come with posters. They come with posters in there, promo posters that I don't believe came with the originals. I'm going to show you. This is from the box set. Very all analog. This is the original inner gatefold. The original was a gatefold. I believe some copies of this now I've seen. I don't know if I have that, but they're just one. They're not gatefold, as they cut back on that. And here's the poster that's in this. Really nice. They're all promo posters that were maybe hung in the record shops in England or the States or Canada or North America. But really nice stock. This was a pleasant surprise when I got this box set. You could see that. Traffic is back. This was not, I think this was not their first album. It may have been their second or third record with the original lineup or semi-lineup. This is a Pink Island. The Pink Islands are the most desirable, most expensive. Some of them are Pink Rim Islands. They're secondary. There's even American domestic that are actually have pink rim. But if you had an original Pink Island, that's the epitome of a Traffic record or anything from Island, all pink. Really, really good stuff. So that's the reissue. And out of all these copies that I'm going to show, this one to me sounds the best. So, you know, real quick assessment. But out of all these copies, this one's the best. It's mint, basically. It's all analog. They did a really nice job. Let's see. This was originally Island Studios and Olympic Studios in London. This is a 219 reissue from the box set. So we'll put that here. Here's another copy, one of my originals. It has a like a waxy, glossy texture to it. I'm surprised they didn't do a canvas jacket because it's like a sack. John Barleycorn Must Die. And in one of these copies, original copies, I found someone actually typed out the poem John Barleycorn Must Die, which is a traditional English poem or song. You can see the loose leaf here. It's pretty cool. This was in this was in this copy, I believe. And here is the MCA copy, which don't always sound as good as the original UA. Originally they were on UA, which I'm going to pull. Here we have a copy that's a single copy. There you go. Just a single, not a gatefold. This is the most recent copy, I think, next to the box set. This was from 1970. So actually in a few years, they actually cut out the gatefold. And you have this version of it, which is on a blue rim island. Sounds pretty good. I don't have any problems with any of my Traffic records. They always sound good. I'll never get tired of Traffic. If you young ones out there do not know Traffic, Steve Winwood, Capaldi, just a great lineup. Well, Chris Wood's on flute, Jim Capaldi's on drums, Steve Winwood's on this. So this is actually just an organic record. It's just so good. Dave Mason is not on this record. I alluded to Dave Mason earlier. He had left the band by then, so maybe this is their third or fourth record. Here's another OG. This might be an OG UA. Yeah, this is a black and orange UA. Traffic, John Barleycorn Must Die. It only has 3 tracks on side 1. It only clocks in at about 16, 18 minutes. And this has 3 sides on the flip side, which is side 2, Stranger to Himself, John Barleycorn, Every Mother's Son, and that's about the same amount of time. But these all sound tremendous. I still like the organic and sonic range of the new one from the box set. And you know, not only that it's new, it's my newest copy, but it just sounds good. That whole box set is really nice. It's out of print. Here's another one. Here's number 5. This is a gatefold. This does not have any dates on it. The other ones have dates on it. Whoa, that was close, Tony. This has that original inner, not inner, but gatefold inner. And this is the UA tan label, which always sound good, especially my tan label that I have for Will the Circle Be Unbroken, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. The tan label in my box, in my collection, sound the best. And that's this here. So that's the 5 from Traffic. John Barleycorn Must Die. Traffic does not get its respect that I believe it should get. This has a split seam on it, but I've got multiple copies of Traffic. Normally I would have picked up the one from Walmart. Probably could have been the same as what was in the box set. I don't know, but you can only go so far with multiple copies. But such a good deal like that, you know, that was last year, I believe. Big John had told me about that. So that's Traffic. That's 5 from 5. Next up, we're going to do Santana, Abraxas, and you know Santana was just reissued by Mobile Fidelity, a 33 1/3, but that, from all these, that's going to sound the best. Everyone does say that sounds the best. I don't have that one step, which is probably the best that you're ever going to hear that record, Santana Abraxas, but I think the next best thing will be the MoFi, which I'm going to show. This I'm pulling because these are gatefolds. There's the band. This is actually, the lineup is Santana, Greg Raleigh, who went on to go into Journey, David Brown, bass, Michael Shreve, the unbelievable young drummer, Jose Arias, timbales and conga, and Mike Carabello on conga. That's with this lineup here. So great record. This is probably a Columbia domestic. Don't believe these were ever 2 eyes, just a regular Columbia. But what happened, the reason I pulled this one is this has a sensor on it. And you can see that has a sensor. This is stuck on. I've seen this a few times. I think I might have another one like this. But that's a sensor that was put on in North America. These also came with the poster. This does not have the poster, but I do have one with the poster to show you guys. This is what this sticker is, and this is an actual sticker right on here, and then it was shrunk wrap. This is from Time Magazine. Santana has taken flight like a Poseidon missile exploding out of a sea of mediocrity. A rare poetic delicacy. Rhythms move in parallel layers, interrupting, overlaying, penetrating one another, multiplying into mathematical complexity. Santana's instrumental solos are long-lined and full of musical quill bending, flattening and sharpening with something of the intricacy of Oriental music. I just got the chills reading that because I wish I could write and explain music like this. Although from reading that, I still don't know what the music sounds like, but I know it's good. So that's that. Just kidding. Here's a Japanese quad. That's a total different mix. So I pulled that. That's a quad. There's the sleeve. There's the label. This actually is cool because it's kind of a metallic sheen to it. Really beautiful. This was imported to me from Japan by Big John. This does not have the band in the corner, the lineup. It has Japanese stuff on the bottom. This I have clean 9-2-22 Abraxas quad. And there's the actually the Japanese inner, the logo from Columbia. This does not have an obi or any of the paperwork, I don't believe, that comes with these, but really cool. Completely different mix, so we will put that aside. Here is the Ultimate. This is the original master recording from Mobile Fidelity. Just got this year, and this holds up sound wise like the Rhino, Black Sabbath self-titled. This is tremendous. I think these are numbered. I'm not sure, but they're probably numbered. But they're always, the MoFis are always available for the most part. This is numbered 1480. Not sure how many they made, but this is a 33. But this is amazing. This does not come with a poster. which would have been nice if Mobile Fidelity decided to include it. And as you can see where the poster slot is in the original, that's sealed. That's just a regular. This gatefold is not even cracked. This has the original lineup here, and it has some information from Mobile Fidelity. But this is my go-to Abraxas. I played this for Christmas. These are one of the analog records that I will pull out now if someone comes over to listen to the system, and I want to just have a, no issues at all with what this is going to sound like. I know there's no making excuses for this record. It doesn't, you can blast it, it doesn't clip, the sonics are great, and like that Time magazine article, that review that it tried to explain the complexity of these records. These are like jazz fusions with a big intravenous hookup of Latin. So we all know what this record sounds like. It's just amazing. Here we have an original an early or first pressing with the poster near mint. An original. There's the back, and I'll pull out the poster. Here's an original inner that came with Columbia at the time. Has ads in it, stuff like that. We will pull the poster out just to show you guys. But can't go wrong with these early Columbias. Sometimes they're noisy, depends on when they were pressed and where they were pressed, because Columbia would press all over the place. Here's the two slots, one for the poster. This is a cool poster. This poster's never been displayed. If you buy this album on eBay without the poster, of course, it's going to be probably half price, or even less than what one with the poster would cost. And there's the poster. And when you listen to this record, when you listen to this album, how young they were, and only 6 people, I don't think there were anybody else that supplemented this recording, but only 6 guys that sounded like a orchestra from another planet, an orchestra from heaven, celestial, just, everyone knows this record. This record's been with me since it came out. I've been listening to this record basically my whole vinyl life, or record life. I have it on CD, probably had a copy on 8-track. I know I had a cassette of it somewhere. I don't have it anymore. But every gamut, every format, this record followed me. I've seen Santana a few times, not this original lineup, but Santana later on, and Santana, with different shows, Santana in Chicago. People, the bands from Columbia used to do shows together and stuff like that. But Carlos is the man, very humble, very religious, just a beautiful person. If you read autobiographies on these artists, I recommend the Santana book. It was so good I borrowed it from the library. I liked it so much because there was so much in there. He talked about so much joy and affection he had for people who helped him along the way. He talked about, of course, Miles Davis and Jimmy, and different bands that he dug. And I like the autobiography so good that I actually went out and bought a copy on eBay, which there's plenty of copies, and just a great autobiography by Carlos. So one more, I think. But out of these 5 for 5, you go with the MoFi for $60. You'd be hard pressed to find an original for $60 that's near mint, maybe VG Plus. The original is good. I gave one to a friend of mine one year, and He said that Columbia version kind of sounded compressed, but a lot has to do with your equipment. A lot has to do with what you're used to, and basically, the equipment and your opinion. So, but this is another one here. This is a early Columbia near mint pressing. So out of all of these, of course, the one I would pick to go to play for someone is the MoFi. And this also has a poster. Pretty cool. So there you have it, 5 for 5. Santana. This one next needs no introduction. Biggest selling album in the world. 1 or 2, I don't know. Eagles' greatest hits, Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, but Thriller, probably 100 million copies. Now these pressings are kind of different. The back of the jacket and some of the dead wax is a little different. Bernie Grudman cut this. He said that he cut this record so many times because there were so many, new lacquers that they needed to do because the record just, they wore out the stampers, right? So he said he could tell in what time, when did he cut this based on the dead wax. And the dead wax varies on some of these. I'm not going to get into that too much because they all sound great. My original sounds great. Here's one that's an original. The back says, produced by Quincy Jones for Quincy Jones Productions. And then it has some other people on the back. There. That, I believe, is an early pressing. We got this in a MoFi. This one sounds superb. It has an inner. The inner sleeves, sometimes when you buy them used or beat up, this one got beat up, but I do have inners that are perfect. Sometimes the inner sleeves will change its texture. The companies use different paper, but this is cool because it has Michael and Paul. It's funny because they're fighting over a girl here, but in reality, they were fighting over Beatle ownership of Beatle Publishing, and we don't know how that went. Michael Jackson came to Paul McCartney one night. They were friends. He recorded with Michael, and Michael recorded on his record. And there's videos out there. Michael's just a kid, right? And he said, "Paul, what should I invest my money in?" He's at the time. Paul said, "Publishing." He goes, "I'm going to buy your publishing." And Paul said, "Okay, that's cool." He probably thought he was kidding. But Michael went out and told his people to buy Beatle recordings, and he owns a lot of Beatle recordings. I don't know if Paul bought some of them back later on, but that's how that story goes. This is a subsequent copy where it has on the back co-produced by Michael Jackson, if you could see that. So if you're looking for it, the first one I showed you is one that you want to look for. That's an earlier pressing. They all sound great. Here's a really nice inner. I pulled that to show you. Really in good condition. And you can see the back has the lyrics and credits and a beautiful epic. This sounds good. Bernie Grudman. It's just a classic record. It's sonically superior than a lot of records at this point. It had to do a lot with the pedigree, Quincy, Michael. Here we have another one that has the early pressing, produced by Quincy Jones, without the Michael Jackson co-produced. This dead wax is slightly different from one of the other ones. Sometime you'll get a jacket that is older than the pressing, where jackets were found. The record company is repressing the record. They'll use the original jacket. So there's a lot of things to go into. You really have to check the matrix to find out if this record matches this record. I did not do this for this kind of segment, but that's really how you really do it. Here's another one that's just the near mint copy on Epic. and this is co-produced by Michael Jackson. But best sounding one would be this one. Slightly. There's a lot of controversy on whether the one-step sounds like it should, because it's a one-step. Everyone always has completely high expectations, especially with this record. I believe this record priced at $99 at the time. It's a 33 and a third one-step. It isn't a 45 one-step, and this is where that controversy came in, because we discovered that Mobile Fidelity was using a digital step in their process. It wasn't from tape, because there's no way they could have ran this priceless tape, Mona Lisa of tapes, Pablo Picasso of tapes, Rembrandt of tapes, that we're going to run them over and over again to cut new lacquers and whatever, however they do it. So this has a digital step, and in here it actually the DSD step, analog console, analog lathe, 40,000 units. But this is the best sounding Thriller. It's a little different. I still like the original, but this has a full sound stage, and you know, it's just meticulous. You can't really go wrong. I believe this has the inserts that have the original inner sleeve, but it's now a sheet of paper. Has the cardboard that you get to protect the shipping. And the first ones I got on this, actually, I think I bought them early. It had a split seam, and what MoFi did was the inner sleeve was split, and Mobile Fidelity Music Direct replaced them for me. Here's the album cover. It's just a simple fold out. They don't do a complete album cover like the UHQRs, but which is either way. And here is the actual record, 33 and a third. A lot of stuff in these boxes. That's what gets the expense up. The Rhinos are simple. They come with a nice inner with the tape box, a nice essay, and they're $40. And they sound, to me, as good as a one-step or a UHQR, close. Depends on the original recording. And here's the actual, these are numbered. I don't know what this number is. Super vinyl. But out of my Thrillers, I would pick this one to play for somebody, and I just did that over the Christmas holiday. I played Beat It with the great guitar of Eddie Van Halen, and I played another track, which is, let's see, don't remember. Oh, Billie Jean, Beat It, Billie Jean. It's just great, you know. You can't not love this album. I remember an old friend, I haven't seen him in a long time, Bobby Greenway. I was working with him at the Pro Board, and he had young sisters. I wasn't into Michael Jackson. I knew Michael Jackson. If I saw his records, his old group, the Jackson 5, I'd buy them. But I wasn't a Michael Jackson guy at that time. He was going disco. Off the Wall that just came out, was huge. Then this came out. And he goes, you got to listen to Thriller. You got to let my sisters play it. And I kind of got into it. I bought the CD after that. I didn't buy the record. Then I bought the record. Then I bought another record. Then I bought another record. Then I found out that the back changed, so I had to get that record. I found those records. And then, of course, everyone had to get the one step. I thought that 40,000 copies of that record wouldn't be enough with the demand, but apparently it's enough. And if you think that the original Thrillers sold in vinyl and cassette and album and CD, maybe over 50,000 units, we still can't sell 40,000 units at $100. So it's like a hit or miss. You know, you never know how many of these records are. I thought it would sell. It's a lot 40,000 was double or triple what the other one steps were. It's only a 33 1/3. A 45 may have been overkill. It would have been more expensive. Would have been 150, but still a great record. If you could find them out there, I believe even $75 now. But if you find a seal one, you got to spend. I believe Music Direct still has them, or stores still have them. But if not, search it out. Next record up that I'm doing 5 for 5. I could have did 15 for one. That's this record, like I talked about. Revolver, the Beatles' stepping stone to psychedelia greatness, and Sgt. Pepper, and you all know the story. Here, this is a Odeon, German. Really knocks it out of the park. Okay, very clean. I put wow in my notes. I'll just show you the jacket. Floppy German jacket on Horzu. Odeon Horzu. This is the British release, not the American release of Revolver. So it has its extra tracks, original generic inner. And I will show you the piece de resistance, the blue Odeon. Really great. I would think this is, top 1, 2 of my revolvers. Like I said, I have a lot of revolvers. I didn't pull the mono box set, the American or the great Paraphone British box set that came out a few years ago. That's now out of print with all the Beatle records in it. I didn't pull that, but that's probably a great, would be up there. That's mono. This one is stereo. And there's the cover again. So that's the German. Just gonna put these in because it gets to be overtime when you got to do it all later, but we'll do a lot of them later. I'll probably do this one later as well. Here's a really nice mono original from Scranton, and this has the original cover. This has a rainbow capital. This is a mono in excellent condition. Dead Wax, I wrote, has the original inner. S1, T1, 2576 F1, side 2, T2, 2576 G2. And this has an original inner. And you know that these inners actually came, this is an American, actually came with the new Capitol box set, which I recommend if you're a Beatle guy, a Beatle person, Beatle gal. Here's the stereo. Capitol OG. This is Rainbow Near Mint stereo. I didn't pull any apples of these because kept it to 5. Here's an original UK pressing that I got somewhere along the way. Parlophone. Really nice. Near mint. 14 tracks, right? Original tracks. Original white inner. The British inners. They're cut. Here's the back. Long player. 33 1/3. Little floppy. Has a British sticker to import. This is near mint. Maybe better than the German I wrote. Clean. Original inner, sticker, printed record. This cost at the record shop where it was originally found, it was marked $13.99. I think that price was a good deal. I think we did well by buying it for $13.99. And of course, I pulled this out. The Revolver box set, which I think is the best sounding. This has a stereo. This has a this is actually the CD edition. Is it? No, this is actually the records. It's funny, the hype sticker said CD, which was a mistake. I kept it. But that's it. Same as the OG British. That's the gold print. But all the records in here, this is a mono. This is off the charts. All Giles Martin. Here's the great book. That is Revolver. Really lavish. These are still available. I've seen these online. I'm not sure where, but I've seen them available. Here is a beautiful 7-inch of paperback rider and paperback rider in rain, stereo and mono, 45. Sounds fantastic. And here are some of the double record in here that I believe are, outtakes in the original, mono takes and different alternate mixes and things. I just wish I had time to really listen to these anymore and not feel guilty. There's so much out there. Here's the new stereo press. That sounds good. No, not sounds good. Sounds great. This whole record, this whole box set is a bargain now. I believe it's probably cheaper than what it cost new when it was first issued. But strange, right? This has the hype sticker. Super Deluxe 5 CD set. So keep that on there for old time's sake. But at 5 times 5 is 25. So that's it. These are what I have pressings of. Let me know how you like this segment. How many pressings of a record do you have? I know I have other bands that I have a lot of pressings of. I have a lot of Tom Jones. Different records. It may not be different pressings, but the same record, different 5 of the same record. A lot of Stones. I even have more Santana. Santana's first album, I have multiple pressings. But let me know what you think about this. So 5 for 5 is 25 in the year 25, in the year 2025. So thanks a lot. Thanks for stopping by. And we'll see you soon. And again, Happy New Year. Stay safe. Talk to you later. Ciao.